Hey everyone, breaking news, Final Cut Pro 10 has been updated to 10.4.7. We're going to talk all about that. Compressor's been updated, Motion's been updated, macOS has been updated, and Logic has been updated to Final Cut Pro 10.4.7. We're going to be right with you. I'm going to see what's going on here. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. We should be live. I'm just going to check on a couple of things real quick. The other thing is, so should be live. I'm going to check to make sure we're live on everywhere we should be. Let's just check this real quick. The other thing is, look what else has been updated. Logic. Logic has also been updated. What the heck's going on here? Let me just check. Let's see what's going on. I should be live. Huh. I don't see it live. Let me just check a few things here real quick. Of course, what else has been updated? Compressor's also been updated. At this point, this is the metal update that everybody was talking about. Let me just check and see what's going on here with the update. Huh, that's odd. It's not updating on my Facebook page for some odd reason. Let me check one thing. Stream Periscope. It should be updated, but it's not updating on Facebook for some odd reason. All right, well, I'll post the YouTube link. Let me see if it's on YouTube there. Let me post the YouTube link real quick. Live, grab it. It's always fun when you're doing live. I got to do a couple of things here. Copy. Everything was updated today, right? Everything. They went across the board. So that is interesting. What's weird is it didn't go live on Facebook, but we're going to solve that problem right now as we're talking. Copy. Here we go. Post. There we go. So, who was expecting this today on Monday of all times? Oh, somebody says it looks live on his end. I don't see it for some reason. I don't see it on my Facebook page. It's live in YouTube. Yes, it's live in YouTube, but I don't have it on my Facebook page for some. I don't know why. Who knows? I don't know. Let me pull it up here. I'm going to go back to Facebook and see if I can pull it up. The odd thing is, let me see. The odd thing is, I was expecting my new iPhone today. My iPhone, I have here it is there. Yeah, it's odd. It's not updating. Yeah, The YouTube link is live. Let me just go to a couple places here real quick. While we get started, then we're going to go over exactly what's going on here. Who expected all these things to be happening on a Monday, on the first Monday, beginning of October? And the other question is, what does that mean as far as Final Cut Pro 10.5? What are we going to see at the summit? It's just not going to be a metal update. It's got to be more than that, right? I would think so. I would certainly think so. All right, let's do this. Post these. There we go. Breaking news. Final Cut Pro has been updated to 10.4.7, which we all like. And we're here talking about it live before anybody else, of course. Talking about it live. Let's see what else, what other kind of nonsense we can pull up here. Post. I'm posting it to the different groups that are available. And so what do you guys think? We're going to go over some of the details, any details that we have. But everything's been updated today. Everything. I mean, I'm even expecting my new iPhone to arrive today. What is going on? So we got some, where, oh, there they are over there, looking for the comments. There they are. Rob Tapscott says, cool for the update. Looks live on my end. Let's get rid of that one, of course. Tangier Clark says, this is interesting news. I wonder why we'd get this update before 10.5. Perhaps because many won't update until 10.5.1. I don't think that's the reason, to be honest with you. I think that this is just the metal update they're getting rid of. They're just getting rid of the metal update, get it out of the way. 10.5 apparently now is much bigger perhaps than we thought it was going to be. It's because as we talked about on Final Cut Pro Radio TV Live before, listen, they're not going to have nothing to show us at the Creative Summit. They're not going to just show us this metal update. This metal update at that point, when the summit comes out, is already 4 weeks old. We're going to check some of the features in a minute, but I think we're going to see something new at the summit. Whether that's 10.5 or whatever else it is, I don't know for sure. Of course, I'm not on the beta team, and I don't know what it's going to be. Let's go back. I'm doing this on the fly, so I'm going to go back and grab a couple of things. Let's go here. Let's go here. We just had our big update for, we had Final Cut Pro Radio, the podcast, live. We had it, everybody from LumaFusion on last week. It's already got over 1,000 views. So let's see the comment. Here we go. Copy, copy, copy. Copy there. Everything's copy and paste, copy and paste. So the other thing is, look, besides Final Final Cut Pro 10, compressor's been updated. But I'm excited also, Logic Pro has been updated. 10.4.7, they're being synchronous with their numbers now. That is certainly interesting. And of course, Motion's been updated, but when Motion gets updated, it's hardly ever an update. It's just a little teeny update. Typically, anyway. The big one for everybody here is, of course, Final Cut Pro. So let's look at some of the updates that are happening there. So it says, of course, let me just get this centered. There we go. Metal-based processing engine improves playback and accelerates graphics tasks, including rendering, compositing, real-time effects, exporting, and more. Of course it does. We know that. That's the least that Metal can do, right? Everybody knows Metal's going to be doing that. Let me just see what we're doing here. Let's just go here, click and copy and paste. I'm not sure what the heck's going on. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're doing something. I'm not sure why, but I was having a little bit of trouble. But let's get this going. So we're going to go over some of the details, all the details that we know at this point. We know a lot of users groups. We know a lot of some of the details. We don't know everything yet. Of course, it just came out, so but Final Cut Pro has been updated. Did I expect it on? I expected it on Tuesday. What are they doing to us? Tuesday, Monday, Final Cut Pro update on a Monday. Here I am waiting on my iPhone, supposed to be delivered today, which is exciting in itself. And instead we get Final Cut Pro, which makes the iPhone take the back seat. Right? Does to me. So anyway, we're going to go over some of the details. Everybody knows how to get to the App Store Everybody knows how to get to the App Store to upload. I see Logic in mine. I don't see Final Cut yet, but we're still going to go over some of the details. So let's go over this. Let's see what it says here. Final Cut Pro. What's new in 10.4.7? New metal-based processing engine improves playback, accelerates graphics tasks, including rendering, compositing, real-time effects, exporting, and more. Enhances graphics performance with support for multiple GPUs, including Radeon Pro Vega 2 and Radeon Pro Vega Duo on Mac Pro. But the Mac Pro's not out yet, is it? I don't think it is. Optimizes CPU performance with support for up to 28 CPU cores on the Mac Pro. So this is what we thought it was going to be. I posted an article a while back about the next update to Final Cut Pro 10.4, and we talked all about if it's going to be 10.4.7, and if it is 10.4.7, it would be based around the Mac Pro. This is at FCPX.TV, waiting on Final Cut Pro 10.5. That could be a 10.47 update to coincide with the new Mac Pro release. I don't know. Has the Mac Pro been released today as well? If it has been, that's just like, man, what else can they release in one day? What else can they release in one day besides everything? The Mac OS has been released too. Catalina, now please do not, two things. Do not update to Catalina until you have a backup of your other system that works. High Sierra, whatever you're running, that works. Make a backup copy of that. Also, before you update to 10.47, zip 10.46 in your applications folder. Make a copy of 10.46, so if you have to go back to 10.46, you have a copy. That's very important, isn't it? All right, let's go back and see what else we're doing here. Accelerates ProRes and ProRes RAW playback when using the Afterburner card on Mac Pro. And what the heck's going on? Has the Mac Pro been released? Let's check that out. See if it has been. Nope, it still says coming this fall. Isn't that interesting? So this update is 10.47 for the Mac Pro, but the Mac Pro has not been updated yet. I didn't think it was. I said if they did that at the same time, that would be incredible. If they had everything going on in one day. So the Mac Pro still says coming this fall, which makes sense. So even though this update is tied to the Mac Pro, which is what I talked about in the article, waiting on Final Cut Pro, this Mac Pro's not out yet, which I didn't expect it to be out today. My iPhone, however, should be here any minute. That's exciting for me. I have to take that. I backed up my current iPhone, updated to the latest iOS, etc., etc. So if any of my friends want to jump on to this call, just log on to Skype, send me a note, and I'll bring you on. So let's go back and see what's going on with Final Cut Pro 10 here. View, edit, grade, and deliver stunning high dynamic range video on Pro Display XDR. Once again, I don't see where that's out. I don't see where the display is out. So this is interesting, all this stuff, absolutely interesting. However, I still expect an update at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. They can't just give us people coming from all around the world and they just show us 10.47. I still think they're going to show us 10.5, at least a preview of 10.5. Now 10.5 at this point, when in 1 month, the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit is in 1 month. At that point, it'll be 2 years old between 10.4 and 10.5. It's an unusually long time period. 10.47, this update for Metal is what I anticipated was going to happen before the Creative Summit. But the Creative Summit is going to be happening shortly. So in 1 month. It's going to be November the 7th. Apple Day is November the 8th for the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. If you go to the Creative Summit, use the discount code, FCPX discount code, FCPX Radio 19. That's the discount code to get yourself 10% off. Alrighty, so let's see what else is going on with this update. Select which internal or external GPU is used to accelerate graphics processing. Grade high dynamic range video with enhanced color mask and range isolation tools. Well, that's certainly a good one. People have been requesting that for quite a while. View high dynamic range video tone map to compatible standard dynamic range displays when using Final Cut Pro on Mac OS Catalina. So Catalina is out today as well. People have been waiting for that as well. So it looks like at least that one is going to be tied to an update to Catalina. I am not going to update to Catalina right away. I will have a dual boot system for quite a while. I didn't update to Mojave until May of 2019. May of 2019. So let's see what's going on with Compressor while we're here. What's new and what's new? All right, it says, of course, metal. Everything is metal. Metal-based processing engine improves playback and accelerates graphics tasks, including rendering, compositing, and exporting. Enhances graphics performance. Support multiple GPUs. This is the same stuff we've seen with Final Cut Pro. High dynamic range, improved load balancing of graphics processing across multiple GPUs. And then we have Logic. Let's just check and see what's going on in Logic as well. Update contains stability improvements and bug fixes. That's when they do a bug fix, usually it's a ton of things. That's not just a couple. Main stage, motion. Let's see what's new in motion. Motion. Let's see what they have. I bet you the Afterburner card. Yes, same thing. Accelerates ProRes RAW playback. Everything we've already seen in both Final Cut Pro and in Compressor, the same features. It seems like it's all based on metal. This is a metal update. It's not a feature update. I mean, it's a feature update as far as doing things with metal. This is not the update that I'm looking for. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm still waiting on 10.5. And I expect to see at least a preview of 10.5 at the Creative Summit. If all they do is just rehash 10.4.7, it's not as exciting. Because this will be out for a month at that point. Last time we went, two years ago, in 2017 it was, we were at the Creative Summit and they previewed 10.4 for us. It wasn't out until December, 2 months later, but they allowed us to talk about it. It was a public preview of 10.4. I expect the same kind of thing could happen this time at the Creative Summit. I don't know for a fact. It's just my guess. If we go there and all they do is show us 10.4.7, that is not as interesting as if they show us 10.5. Because at that point, 10.4.7 will already be out for 4 weeks, 5 weeks. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. I mean, it's hard to tell. It's a great team that they have there. Final Cut Pro team, the Pro Apps team. I'll be glad to see them. Of course, we will be going to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. We'll be going to the Apple Spaceship Campus. Inside the campus this year, not just to the Visitors Center like we did last year. I'm going to silence that. So let's see this. Michael P. Schmidt says, I think a metal performance update can be a big good thing, especially for eGPU users. You're absolutely correct, Michael. Absolutely correct, Michael. This is not this is not a major update though. If it was a major update, it would be 10.5. This is a minor update, a point update, 10.4.7. Jasper says, come on, Richards, these are major releases. It's not major, Jasper. It's not major at all. It's 10.4.7. 0.7. It's not a major update. It's a minor update. I realize that it takes a huge amount of programming to get this done. That means 10.5 is going to have a lot of major features. That's my point. This is minor. This is not going to affect a lot of people. It affects some. Of course, it's better. It's still minor. A point update is a minor update. It's not major. 10.5 will be major. Like I said, the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit's coming up on November the 7th is the first day, and November the 8th is Apple Day, when we get to see the Final Cut Pro team, and I bet they're going to have something new to show us. I bet they're going to have something new to show us. So it seems to me that, well, they obviously, so Jasper says, every other vendor would have released this as a major update, though. Well, I'm not, yeah, I agree with that. I'm not saying it's nothing. I'm just saying that there's a reason they made it 10.4.7 and they didn't make it 10.5. We know 10.5 is coming, right? We know it's coming. It absolutely is coming. It's been, in 1 month, it'll be 2 years from 10.4 to 10.5. 10.5 is absolutely on the way, and I would not doubt it to see it at the Creative Summit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying this wasn't any work. Of course it was work, but they've had, how long, when was Metal announced? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? We knew it was going to happen. So they've been working on this for a long time, and I bet, and simultaneously, they will be working on 10.5. I'm not downplaying the amount of work that the team has done. I bet you there's two different teams going on. So Michael P. Schmidt says, we will see. We'll test eGPU performance, especially with new Mac OS, and let's see who it affects Radeon 7 performance, so it could be major. It's major in that respect, but it's still a 0.7 update. It's not 10.5. Apple doesn't think it's major as far as that goes. I mean, yeah, 10.4.4 was a quasi-major update. It had a lot of features. This is major in that respect. It's not just it's not about the features. It's about the performance in this case. But that still raises the question, what about 10.5? This gets all that out of the way for 10.5 to be a major release. This is like preparing the path for 10.5. I'm not, do I know it's coming out at the Summit? No, I don't. Do I know they're going to preview at the Summit? No, I don't. I don't know for a fact that it's coming at the Summit, but this is a good update. This is what I talked about in the article that I had out back in August, I think it was. Apple said an update to Final Cut Pro is coming this fall. That could also be 10.4.7. Of course it could be 10.4.7. That's exactly what it was, and that's what we expected. Now, the interesting thing is that they said that they keep talking about, let me put this up from Robin Kurz. He says he has, so Robin Kurz, it's not posted, it's not coming up on the chat, it's being held for some reason, I can't get it, I'll show it. Here we go. There, I got it now. So he says he has video on all the new stuff on my channel for anyone interested. So go to Robin's channel, you can see video on all the stuff on his YouTube channel. He says either in English or German, whichever you prefer. I prefer English, since I don't speak any German. So anyway, that's what we got. You guys, all the updates are based on metal performance, but they keep mentioning the Mac Pro, which does that mean the Mac Pro is coming out any day? Let me just see if it's, I'm going to bring this back up. No, it's still saying coming this fall on the Apple site, so it's still not released yet. So these releases are ahead of the Mac Pro. And I do have, my Mac Pro is funded. I do have it funded. So Robin says, why am I not surprised, Richard? You're not surprised that I prefer English over German? I could speak maybe a little bit of, well, I know a little bit of French, and I know a little bit of Polish, a little bit of Latin, but I don't know any, I do very little German. A lot of my friends took German in high school, but English, please. That's what I would be watching. All righty. So anybody wants to come on real quick, I can bring you on the call. So Robin says, yes, that's what he meant, German and English. So go to his channel if you want to see some videos talking about it. Robin says he'll do the next one in Latin. Look, I had Latin in grade school. I took Latin when I was in grade school. I went to a Catholic school and we had Latin. We had to actually speak Latin. But anyway, so let's go back and see. I had some things bookmarked here. Let me see if they're up yet, because let me see if they're up yet. Nope, it's not up. So look, it's not even been updated on the Apple site. The release notes and what's new in Final Cut Pro are only 10.4.6, and that was March, unless somebody has a more recent version. I've updated this. It's 10.4.6, unless somebody has a more recent, maybe mine's cached or something, but that was March the 21st, 2019. So this update's been coming for 7 months. Yeah, 7 months almost. Almost 7 months anyway. Yes, sir. We got lots of exciting news. I'm still waiting on my iPhone. It should be coming back here shortly. So they updated the Mac OS too. But most of you are here for Final Cut Pro, of course. If anybody wants to jump on the Skype call, you have to contact me on Skype and I'll add you to the call. Let's see if anybody's here. I don't see anybody. But who knows? So I'll be interested to see So Robin says, and yes, the new Metal 2 underpinnings make for full support of multiple GPUs. So even if it seems minor on the surface, this is big. No, it absolutely is big. I agree with you. It's big, but it's still a point. It's a point update. It's not a 10.5. Do you think they could have made this 10.5? People would have been satisfied? I don't think so. I think people are expecting much bigger things to be happening with 10.5. And whether we see that later in 2019 or we see it in 2020, I don't know, but I think we will see a preview of it at the Creative Summit. It absolutely is big if it does. Metal 2 is a big deal. I'm not a programmer, but I've heard about it for a while, but Metal 2's been announced for a year or two at this point. That's, as far as I know, that's what's been going on. So Has anybody updated yet? Who's brave enough to update to Catalina and Final Cut Pro 10.7 at the same time? Now, I have two MacBook Pros, 2016, 2019. I have a 2017 iMac, which I'm on right now, which I'm broadcasting from. So Robin says, why and how is outlined in his video. We'll go to Robin's YouTube page, and he has it outlined, why and how. It's outlined, absolutely. It is big. It is big. It's just still a 0.7. It's just a 0.1 update. Oh, that's interesting. I have a 1 gig internet speed, and they say it's not fast enough. Well, that's ridiculous. And I'm even connected via Ethernet, not via Wi-Fi. Robin says, honestly, unless you really need the new Final Cut Pro stuff, definitely wait on Catalina. Absolutely. Here's the thing with me. I have, like I said, two MacBook Pros, 2016, 2019. I got a 2017 iMac. I'm going to be getting the Mac Pro in 2020. I'm not going to probably buy it in 2019. But I'm going to have a dual boot system for multiple reasons. Number one is I usually wait for a while before I update. So before I update the Catalina, I'll stay on Mojave. I'll have a dual boot system. I'll completely back up my system the way it is now. I'll make a carbon copy of it. And then I will be able to boot in either one. Now, one of the main things is Mojave can still support 32-bit files if you have any 32-bit files, or you forget about it and you update to Catalina. So I'm not going to do my main. This is my main machine right here. This is my main studio machine, which is the 2017 iMac. This one I will not update to Catalina. My MacBook's not a problem. I'll update, like I said, I'll dual boot. I might just divide the SSD, do a dual boot on the SSD, or I'll figure out another way to do a dual boot. But I'll still stay on Mojave for a while. As a matter of fact, I don't know, is this one on Mojave? Let me see if my iMac is on Mojave. Nope. No, see my iMac is actually on High Sierra. I'm 1013.6. I just checked it out. So I'm not even on Mojave on it. I didn't think I updated this. So, and everything's running completely fine at this point. The other thing, because I do have some things that I have to make sure, I have a couple of apps that are 32-bit that I have to make sure I can keep on using. So everybody go over to Robin's YouTube channel when we get done with this broadcast, and he has videos over there explaining everything. The Final Cut Pro community thanks you for that. Sometimes everybody does. You get a lot of free information on YouTube and other places from Final Cut Pro people. It takes a lot of effort to do these things. It takes a lot of time. So make sure when you find something that you like, just send them a note. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, give them a thumbs up. So go over to Robin's page when you go over there and just tell them, hey, thanks a lot. Thanks, appreciate the... So who's coming to the summit this year? Anybody in the group here? Robin, are you coming over to the summit? I think you were at IBC. I know it's expensive coming from overseas, which is the same reason I didn't go to IBC this year, but let me just check one more thing. One thing I didn't check was, let me just check something here. Twitter's probably exploded, I'm sure, with all the Final Cut Pro news. Let's see what Twitter's doing. Oh, good. Jasper says. Jasper's going to be there. Good, Jasper. I get to meet you in person. I've had you on Final Cut Pro Radio. So I'll get to meet you in person. We talked all about your products back when you were on Final Cut Pro Radio. So let's just do finalcutproradio.com is where you can find us. We are now approaching 1.2 million downloads of my podcasts. We passed 1.1 million a couple weeks ago. Now we're on to 1.2 million. It's pretty cool. So Robin says, not this time. And yes, I was at IBC, which is why I'm sure it's expensive to go to these things. I mean, I know it's expensive. I go to them, of course. I mean, I get sponsored. I'm sponsored to go to the Creative Summit. So I don't have to, it's not quite as expensive. And the same when I go to NAB, I'm also sponsored when I go to NAB. So everything happens. And Jasper says, yes, will be great to meet you. Absolutely, Jasper. Jasper, are you coming with a company? Are you coming with Hedge or something like that? Is that what you're coming with? I presume that's what you're doing. I know you joined them recently, so that'd be cool. Yeah, I'll get to meet you in person. I am a bit taller than perhaps maybe I look on video. That's what my friend Ian Anderson said when he first met me 3 years ago. He goes, you don't look that tall on the internet. Well, you really can't tell. I'm like about 6'3". So it'll be exciting. The summit, regardless of what they show at the summit, this is exciting news. Jasper says, yes, we're coming with Hedge. Good, I'll get to see how your product integrates with Hedge. I haven't seen that yet. That'll be good to see. Hedge. Let's see, I'm just going to check Twitter. It's probably completely exploded. Yeah, so that's good. So it doesn't require, Daniel Elliott says it doesn't require Catalina. Well, I hope not. I'm not updating Catalina just to run a new version of Final Cut Pro. It just needs 10.14.6, so you at least need Mojave. That's even interesting. Justine Robillard says, I'm getting the stream on Twitter. So Robin says, hey, Jasper, I bumped into you at IBC, boat and all. So Robin says 10.4.7 requires minimum Mojave. Yes. So Robin, tell me this. Is that the first time that Final Cut Pro has required the two most current, the one that's out now and the one that was just released? I thought it went back one more version a lot of times, but I guess the more advanced it gets, we're lucky that it takes Mojave. So that'll be interesting. So I can't update this machine, my iMac, because I'm on High Sierra, but I will be updating it. Mojave's been fine for me. I updated in May on my MacBook Pros. It's been fine after 6 months or so. It's been completely fine. I'm just going to try something for the heck of it. So Robin says, because of metal, nothing before that. There you go. Because of metal, nothing before that has metal. That's the reason. Very interesting. That's a good reason. So this is Metal 2, right? Metal 2 just came out, or that's what's in this versus Metal 1. Metal 1's been out for a while. So we haven't used any metal whatsoever, right? Up to this point in Final Cut Pro. Even Metal 1, I guess not. Very, very good. I'm excited. I haven't got my phone yet, though. it might be coming. It's supposed to be here. I've been tracing it, but it hasn't. Let me just check something here. So Robin says metal has been used before. Yes, that's interesting. So it has been used before. Boy, I tell you, I've been watching this. They have this Follow My Delivery on Facebook. And this UPS truck has been circling around my neighborhood, but it hasn't dropped it off yet. So that's interesting. So Robin says, yeah, it has been used before. Metal has been used, but just not to this extent. So that's good. But plus, I guess Metal 2 is a big upgrade itself, right? So does it Metal affect people that don't have eGPUs, just regular one GPU in their system? Does it help with all those people too? I think it does, right? Let's go back and look at our... It says, let's see what it says here. New in 10.4.7 enhances graphics performance with support for multiple GPUs. Yeah, it says new Metal-based processing engine improves playback and accelerates graphics tasks, including rendering, compositing, real-time effects, exporting, and more. And it keeps mentioning the Mac Pro, the Mac Pro. I guess that means the Mac Pro is release is imminent. I'll check back on the Apple. So, Robin says, it helps a lot. Yes, major performance improvements since the GPU is used far more efficiently. That's great to know. So it'll help. It'll be a performance boost for everybody, not just people with multiple GPUs or external GPUs. The other question I have, is it effective to use an eGPU on an iMac? I was curious about that. Will that be of benefit? I know they use them on the MacBook Pros, but I'm not sure if they use them if it'll work on iMacs or not. I don't know. All righty. Well, that's pretty exciting. I hope you all are excited. Let's see what else it says here. So the accelerator card, I presume that's going to be Afterburner card. I'm sorry, the Afterburner card on the Mac Pro. People were initially talking about that being able to be reprogrammed. But I don't know if that's the case right now. So I don't use ProRes at this point. I shoot with my GH5 and I'm using H.264, H.265. And I like that codec because it's the smaller file sizes. So the Pro Display XDR has also been mentioned. But anyway, so about the iMac Pro using or iMac using an eGPU, Robin says yes and no. A dedicated GPU will always be your best bet. So when I get a Mac Pro, I'm not going to get the base GPU. I'm going to update the CPU to 12 or 16 cores. I know that for a fact. I'm not worried about memory. I can buy third-party memory. I'm not worried about getting a big SSD because I can upgrade the SSD. I can upgrade the graphics card, but I still want to get a good base graphics card. So I don't want to get the bottom line one. I'll get the one maybe one step up, two steps up, and I'll upgrade the CPU and get that. He says at least until Thunderbolt 5 or so. So that's interesting. People have been talking about USB 3 catching up to Thunderbolt 3. But by the time it catches up, Thunderbolt 4 will be out. So we'll be doing that for sure. Alrighty, if you don't have any questions, I think I'm going to get out of here for today. Wait on my iPhone. Who has iPhones? Robin, did you get an iPhone? Did you get a new iPhone? iPhone 11? I mean, I've got my old iPhone. My old one's a 6S Plus. And the reason I stuck with this one and the reason that I kept it all this time was because I bought this because it shoots 4K video. And I've been shooting 4K with this thing ever since. So I'm really excited to get the new. I haven't updated since then. So I'll be excited to get the new 11. I got the 11. Robin says no, he did not get an iPhone 11. I wasn't going to get one, and then I found a way to finance it without raiding my Mac Pro fund, so I went ahead and got one. It's not here yet, though. It's supposed to be here. Here it is, my delivery. Follow my delivery. Oh, it's close. It's getting close. It's with less than a mile away. Let me see. Yep, it's not too far away. It keeps circling around and circling around, so I'll be fooling with that the rest of the day. After this, I'm not going to update. I'll update Final Cut Pro. I'll update Final Cut Pro on my MacBook Pro after I make a dual boot system. Well, I don't have to. I got Mojave on that. That's right. I can update it on there. I have to, if any of you have a good idea about dual booting, I guess I can just divide a small portion. I'm not sure how small, maybe 100 gigabytes for a dual boot system, not my main system, but a dual boot system, or maybe 50 that I can dual boot into Catalina. I'm not going to do Catalina right now, though. I don't need to. There's nothing I need in Catalina. Man, Apple really, really rolled out the updates today. Just incredible. Absolutely. Congratulations to the Final Cut Pro team. Absolutely congratulations to them. Congratulations to Apple, everybody that works there. We're going to see you all in a month. And I will see everybody later, I guess. There's not much else. Once again, if you're going to be, let me see. If you're going to be coming to the Creative Summit, use this discount code, FCPX Radio 19, to get 10% off. And also visit, let's go here real quick. So let me just take this off. So if you go to FCPRadio.com, I have pages on the summit. I have the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit page. It has a nice intro video if you've never been there before. I have the summit countdown. Let's see how many days we have. 31 days, at least on the East Coast, 31 days, 2 hours, might be 30 days on the West Coast. And there's one other thing that I added recently for the people attending. Summit Coffee and Food Map. This is the most important thing. These are places that I have gone. So before I went to, let me zoom in here a little bit. I went to the Habit Burger Grill. It's a fast food chain, char-boiled burgers. It's really good. Of course, this is the Juniper here in blue. Right across the street is a small Starbucks, right across this highway. And then there's a Sprouts Farmers Market that I go to that I get water, bottled water and things to take back to my room. In the morning, I go to, for lunch, quick lunch, the Boulanger, which is right across the courtyard. Juniper's here, and you go right across the courtyard, and you can go to there. Starbucks is across the street. Sprouts Farmers Market. There's another Phil's Coffee. There's a Pete's Coffee somewhere, Panera Bread, Starbucks up there. This is where I went last year, the Habit Burger Grill. It's really good burgers. They're fast food, but they're char-boiled. They're good. However, this year, I'm going to go to this place. I don't know if this was here last year. The Counter Cupertino build-it-yourself gourmet burger chain. So that's right here is the Juniper Hotel. So it's just right down the street. So I will be trying that place out. Cafe Torre is an Italian restaurant. I've eaten there for the last couple of years with my friend Brad Olson. And like I said, Le Boulanger is right across the courtyard. You can just walk from out of the Juniper Hotel to the Boulanger. They have sandwiches and things and stuff there, so I go there a lot of times, especially in the morning. They have this place, the Parks Place, in the actual building with the Juniper. They have food and coffee there. It's a good place. It's expensive. I think one time I was looking there for breakfast, and it was going to be like $20, $25 for breakfast. So I went somewhere else, I think, and there's all kinds of other places. But the map is up here on FCPRadio, FinalCutProRadio.com. Just go to FCPRadio.com. I got these three places. And the last Final Cut Pro Radio episode, 94, 25 years on Avid to Final Cut Pro with Michael Yanovich. It was a good one. Sam Messman was on. We had the Aussies. Volume 1. Chris Fenwick came on. We talked about Final Cut Pro, the new Mac Pro, and woodworking, the new Mac Pro. Ronnie Cortins has been on. Lots of stuff. Bill Davis, of course, has been on multiple times. Pixel Stitch. Sam Messman's on again. All kinds of good stuff there. Like I said, we just recently let me see here. We just recently got past 1.2 million downloads. Now we're up to, we just recently passed 1.1 million downloads, and now we're on our way to 1.2 million downloads. So anyway, I'm going to get off here, everybody. And I will talk to you if any more breaking news happens. So Jasper says, what usually are the first things you check when running new software? Well, I don't run new software on a production machine. I would say this iMac Pro is my production machine. The MacBook Pros, I have two of them. I'm selling one, by the way. If anybody wants the 2016, I'm selling a 2016 MacBook Pro. It has 1 month of Apple Care left. I'm selling it. So if you want to, like $1,600 or something, I think Apple sells it for $2,200. But if you want one, let me know. And the first things that I just check the Logic. Logic and Final Cut Pro are my main things, but I also have some web design software that I use and graphics software. So I won't jump in on a new version of Catalina just because it's out today. I won't even think about it for a while. As long as I can run Final Cut Pro on Mojave, I'll stick with that for a while. I don't think there's anything specific, but once again, before you update to Catalina, before you update to 10.4.7, go in your applications folder, zip Final Cut Pro 10.4.6. Let me show you what I mean here. So here is Final Cut Pro. Let's find it right here. All you do is click on Final Cut Pro, right-click on it. See, I already have another version. Right-click on it. Compress. Let it compress. See all the versions I have? I have different versions. Final Cut Pro. And it compresses them. And then you have a backed up copy of it. So you have a backed up copy of Final Cut Pro 10.4.6. You have multiple copies. And the same with the OS. Before you update the OS, clone your current system that works for you. Because Mojave is the last version of the OS that supports 32-bit files. I don't have a lot of 32-bit files, but I do have a couple that I want to keep running for the time being. So for the foreseeable future for me, I will be running a dual boot system Mojave, and later Catalina. I won't even update Catalina for a while, but later I'll update the Catalina of the dual boot system, but I will be keeping Mojave for quite a while. All right, everybody, I think I'm going to head out of here now. So once again, follow along. You can follow along on Final Cut Pro Radio. Let's do this. FCPRadio.com. Of course, the podcast is in Apple's podcast section, of course. Visit Robin's YouTube channel. He has some videos up explaining Final Cut Pro, the new version. I'll be visiting them later, the English version, not the German version. We discussed that. So anyway, everybody, my name is Richard Taylor, and I will see you on the next one. Absolutely, Robin, no problem. So Robin's YouTube channel is Post-Professionals. He has it both in German and in English, both. Robin, we'll have to catch up sometime when you get to one of these, either NAB next time or whatever. He has videos up on his YouTube channel explaining these things. Robin, thanks for taking the time to do those. From the Final Cut Pro community. Anyway, everybody, zip your version of Final Cut Pro before you update and do a clone of your current operating system that works for you. Make a clone. I use Carbon Copy Cloner. And there's another one that I use. Robin says the German version has English subtitles if you click the wrong one. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Yep, I'm done all zipped. He says, click to the right of my name to get to the channel. There you go. I'll be watching them later today myself. All right, everybody, breaking news, Final Cut Pro, Motion, Compressor. The OS has been updated. Let me just check and see if by any chance there's a couple of other things. Let me see just real quick if Apple has updated. I don't think they have. Well, anyway, the Mac Pro is going to be coming out. This update is all about the Mac Pro and eGPU support. And there's a couple of color things that were in there. What was that one it said about color? Let me look on that real quick before we go. It said something about new in 10.4.7. Here it is. High dynamic range video with enhanced color mask and range isolation tools. That's the one that's big. And Robin says, of course, always zip the previous version before updating and make a time machine backup. Absolutely. I make up multiple backups. And don't do your production machine if you got to deliver something. Very good, everyone. Thanks, Robin, for chiming in today. I appreciate it. We will talk to everybody later. My name's Richard Taylor, and I will see you later. I have my new iPhone coming any minute now. Talk to you all later.